1, 2, 3.
Mom, why are you exercising?
To keep in shape.
I don't see anything wrong with your shape.
That's why I exercise. So none of you men ever will. You're supposed to be doing your homework, mister.
I'm all finished.
Then go downstairs and play with Earl.
I can't.
Why not?
Because Earl J. Wagner isn't home.
Oh?
He went to a meeting of Indian guys.
You mean Indian guides?
I mean no girls, just guys and their fathers.
Corey, would you sit on my feet, please?
If you got married, then I'd have a father to take me to meetings.
Well, perhaps I will get married someday.
But what if your husband doesn't want to go to Indian guide meetings?
Oh, of course he will. Otherwise, you know what I'll do? I'll scalp him. That's what I'll do.
Maybe it's Earl J. Wagner.
I thought you said he went to Indian guide meeting.
Maybe he got kicked out.
Oh.
It's Earl J. Wagner's mother.
Hello, Corey. Julia, what do you think?
What is it?
Oh, it's supposed to be raisin bread, but it sure didn't raise.
Maybe you didn't put in enough yeast.
Yeast. I knew I forgot something.
Oh, Marie.
Well, back to the old breadboard. It's a good thing I have a week to practice.
Practice? What's happening in a week?
That's when the Indian guides are having their meeting at my house. I wanted to serve something special. Not that those boys and their fathers need anything special. Sometimes I think they could make an entire meal out of wallpaper paste and crackers. Anyway, they sure have fun being Indians.
Who wants to be an Indian? I'd rather be a cowboy any day.
Well, go ahead.
Go ahead, where?
Aren't you going to kick me?
Of course not. It's not your fault Corey has no father.
But it is my fault for rubbing it in. I guess Lenny's right. He's always telling me to think before I talk. There's only one problem.
What's that?
If I stop to think about everything I say, I may never say anything. Got any use for a freshly baked paperweight?
Not really.
And I am sorry about what I said in front of Corey. I sometimes forget he's only a child.
You're not alone. Sometimes his mother makes that same mistake. Bye.
No.
Are you praying?
You could say that. And what I'm praying for is that the man I got checking the roof shouldn't find too many holes in it. You got a headache?
It's a special headband. I wear it when I go to Indian guide meetings.
It's very handsome. When my son was your age, we didn't have organizations like Indian Guides. But believe me, he was a wild Indian anyway. So, where's your headband?
I can't be an Indian guide.
Why not?
Because you have to have a father.
Oh.
Mr. Cooper.
Don't tell me. I need a new roof.
Okay, I won't tell you.
All right, tell me.
You need a new roof.
Who asked you?
I'm sorry, Mr. Cooper, but that roof of yours has more holes than a slice of Swiss cheese.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes I think the roofer who built it moonlights in a delicatessen.
Yeah?
Would you come in here? Tell me, Mr. Bowman, how would you like to perform a mitzvah?
I don't do any shady jobs.
No, a mitzvah means a good deed. You saw that boy outside?
I saw two.
One Afro-American, one Irish and Dutch American?
Yeah.
How would you like to have one of them for a son?
Thanks a lot. Already got 6 kids.
So one more couldn't hurt. Anyway, this is merely a temporary assignment. The boy has no father, and he could use someone to take him to an Indian guide meeting.
I don't know.
The meeting is in my building. You'll be working right here anyway.
Except if I don't take this boy to the meeting, I don't get the job, right?
I like to put things more positively. If you don't take the boy to the meeting, you positively don't get the job.
I guess it takes one good Samaritan to make another one. You got a deal.
Good.
Bad they can't x-ray the mind. Hmm? I'd sure like to know what's on yours. Oh, that obvious, huh? Only to a registered Boninsky. The problem with Corey? Would you believe Indian guides? Is he for 'em or against 'em? For 'em. But he lacks one qualification. What's that? A father. Wouldn't be so bad except for the fact that his best friend is a member. Poor kid. Couldn't Earl's father take him? Black boy with a white father? How gaudy. What about Ted Newman? Ted Newman's in Florida for a space shot, and Mac Conway's on a sales trip. What about Rand Kimball? Rand Kimball? Oh, he's perfectly willing to be Corey's father on one condition. Yes? That I make it legal and permanent. Oh. Well, if I could manage it, I'd be his father. Well, you've got until Friday to try.
Well?
98.6. Normal.
Then I don't have to take any more of those pills.
You're as healthy as an ox.
Wow. Nightingale, baby, I don't know how to thank you.
I do. How'd you like to be a father?
What do you mean by that?
Now, don't get the wrong idea. A nice young boy wants to go to an Indian guide meeting, but he needs a father to take him.
You're putting me on. I'm not even married.
It's only for one night. You can use a practice.
Forget it.
Wait, just a minute. Take a look in there.
Hey, man, out of sight.
That's the mother of the nice young boy who wants to go to the Indian guide meeting.
I'm hip. Just fill me in on time and place.
Well, I understand our great gourmet wants to discuss my macaroni.
Discuss it. We can hardly eat it.
Just what do you expect for 65 cents? Pheasant under glass?
Listen, Sam, if you serve pheasant here, the glass would be in it.
Is that why you called me over to insult me?
Matter of fact, I need a favor.
You sure got a nice approach, Doc.
You know my nurse, Julia Baker.
That angel cake.
Angel Cake has a problem.
Now, what kind of a problem could she have?
A 6-year-old boy who has his heart set on going to an Indian guide meeting.
So what's stopping him?
He's shy of father.
You gotta be kidding.
Oh, no.
Look, I'm too old for that. I've got 3 grandchildren.
Sam, you remember that day on the aircraft carrier about 25 years ago?
You're not gonna throw that up to me.
If I hadn't cut that flaring appendix out of you, you wouldn't be here today to make this poisonous macaroni.
Now, Doc, that's blackmail.
Black mail, white mail, as long as it works. Here's the address. The meeting takes place on Friday.
Doctor, you sure know how to hurt a guy.
Well, that makes us even. Your food's been hurting me for years.
It's open. Busy?
No, just waiting for the lamb to stew.
Raisin Bread. Experimental model number 2.
It's just beautiful.
Want to gamble on a taste?
Let's live dangerously. Shall I?
Please do. You know more about surgery than I.
Looks like raisin bread. Cuts like raisin bread.
Something's missing.
Raisins. Corey, I was wondering where you were.
You didn't have to wonder. I knew where I was all the time.
Where'd you get that feather?
It's Charles J. Wagner, and he said I could wear to the Indian guide meeting at his house.
Darling, you know you can't go to that meeting alone.
I'm not going alone. Big Chief Bowman's taking me.
Who is Big Chief Bowman?
He's a roof fixer, but on Friday he's gonna be my daddy.
Corey, I've told you before that making up stories is as bad as lying.
I'm not lying. Us Indian guides never lie.
Excuse me, Mrs. Baker.
It's my fault. I wasn't watching.
No pain, no blame. Actually, I'm glad I bumped into you. Mrs. Baker, you're a fine, intelligent woman.
Why, thank you, Mr. Cooper.
You also have a fine, intelligent son.
Thank you again.
But your landlord, that's a horse of a different color, if you'll excuse the expression.
I think you have many outstanding qualities, Mr. Cooper.
Thank you. But I also have one outstanding weakness. I happen to be a nose poker.
Mr. Cooper, you're trying to tell me something.
In addition to being a nose poker, I'm also a bumbler.
Excuse me, Mr. Cooper. I've got to call for some more nails.
Of course, Bowman. But first, Mrs. Baker, may I present Ned Bowman?
Is this Mr. Bowman, by any chance, the roof fixer?
Have I ever worked for you, Mrs. Baker?
No. But apparently, you worked on my son.
Mrs. Baker is the mother of young Corey.
Oh, the boy who wants to be an Indian guide.
I don't mind a harmless little joke, Mr. Bowman, but it's cruel to make a promise to a child that we don't intend to keep.
What? Hold it. Before there's a confrontation, better make sure you confront the person who is responsible for this mishmash. That little old nose poker me.
What do you know about all this?
The entire Megillah. Corey expressed a desire to attend an Indian guide meeting. I expressed a mention to Mr. Bowman here, and he volunteered to be father for a day.
I didn't exactly volunteer. Truth is, I backed into the job.
But that doesn't mean he intends to back out, does it, Bowman?
Not unless you have some objections, Mrs. Baker.
Then Corey didn't make up this whole story.
My goof, Mrs. Baker. I should have spoken up sooner.
And I probably shouldn't have spoken up at all.
All right, Mr. Bowman. If you still want to go through with it, we'll see you on Friday.
So, all's well that ends well.
Now, that wasn't said by your Uncle Sidney.
Certainly not. It was my brother Melroy. There's a gentleman present. Come to think of it, you got a roof to fix, and you also have a wife and 6 children. I'll be the gentleman. Mrs. Baker, the stairs. Mr. Bowman, the roof.
Do you think Mr. Bowman will come, Mama?
I'm sure he will. Now, why don't you go and wash your hands?
I already washed my hands while I was washing the dishes. What if he got sick?
What if you stop worrying and start reading your animal book until Mr. Bowman gets here? You've got an hour.
It's him! It's him! It is him, Chief Bowman.
Hey, Corey. Good evening, Mrs. Baker. Am I too early?
If it were up to Corey, you'd be late if you'd arrived at 6 this morning.
Can we go down to the meeting now?
Corey, we must give Mr. Bowman a chance to relax.
Sorry, Mrs. Baker. With 6 children, 3 dogs, and 2 cats, This is about as relaxed as I'm going to get.
I want you to know how deeply I appreciate what you're doing. Excuse me. Oh, Chef Watkins.
This will probably sound pretty goofy to you, Mrs. Baker, but I've come to take Corey to an Indian guide meeting.
You what?
I told Dr. Chigley I should have called first, but he said surprise was the only tactic that would work.
He certainly achieved that. You'd better come in.
Thank you.
I'm afraid you're one father too late. Mr. Bowman is already firm for the job.
Hey, brother.
Mates?
We must be in the midst of an epidemic.
Matt Dixon here.
And you were sent to take my son to an Indian guide meeting, right?
Well, in a word, yes.
In 2 words, would the sender be Hannah Yarby?
Now, you're right on the money. But how'd you figure it?
Why don't you come in, Mr. Dixon? I'll introduce you to the clues.
Hi, I'm Corey Baker. This is Chief Bowman and Chef Watkins.
Gentlemen, this is Mr. Dixon.
Well, face it, Dixon, you're running a bad third.
Excuse me while I bring on the next mystery guest. Good evening, Leonard.
Hi, Julia. This is Henry Yardley from my precinct. Now, he's just going off duty, and he happens to be very interested in the High Y Indian Guide. So, when I told him about Corey,
What's all this? I believe they've already got more chiefs than Indians.
The price I pay for having too many well-meaning friends.
What do we do? Draw lots?
I've got a better idea. Do you remember my friend, Rita Hopkins?
the one that works at the bank.
And she does volunteer work at the Douglas House Community Center 2 nights a week. And I think...
Julia Baker, I declare, you get yourself into more situations than any girl I know.
I love you too, Rita Hopkins. But now, we have this surplus of fathers, and we have to put them to use.
A noble thought, Hermie. But Douglas House is not in the business of renting out children.
We weren't thinking of it that way, Miss Hopkins.
I'm sure you weren't. But look at the facts. I give you 3 fatherless boys. For one evening, they have a ball. But what happens to them next week and the week after that? They're right back where they started from. We've given them a lick of the candy and then pulled it out of their mouth.
Corey's in somewhat the same spot.
I still think your first impulse is worth a try, Mrs. Baker. Maybe we can put us part-time fathers on a full-time basis.
How do you mean, officer?
Maybe they'll agree to take the kids to every Indian Guide meeting.
But maybe they won't.
We'll never know unless we ask.
As a part-time social worker, Julia, believe me, the odds are against it.
As a full-time mother, believe me, it's worth a gamble.
Peter, Greg, Victor, come up here, please. Of course, I'll have to call their mothers for permission.
We'd better hurry, because if they don't agree...
Oh, I'm sure they will. They're used to playing the long shot.
The meeting of the mighty Mojaves shall begin.
Seated by the wigwams at the break of day, watch the burning campfires light the dawn away. Seated by the wigwams at the break of day, watch the burning campfires light the dawn away.
Would you please come on? Oh, sorry.
I'm gonna have to hang a traffic light up here. So, I understand the powwow was a wow-wow.
Even more successful than we bargained for. 4 proxy fathers.
Imagine.
And I gave them all Indian names.
What kind of Indian names, if you'll give me for an example?
Here's the list.
Big Oak, Setting Sun, Walking Deer, Running River, and Bald Eagle. Excuse me, Corey, but you got here 5 names, not 4.
The last one's for you, Mr. Cooper.
Ooh, bald eagle. It's possible I'm a member of a lost tribe, but do I have to be a bald eagle?
Would you rather be standing buffalo?
Standing buffalo, bald eagle, sitting duck. As an old ancestor of mine used to say, what's in a name?
Was your old ancestor William Shakespeare?
Until he changed his name, it was William Cooper.